All right, it's a desperate sight. We're on stage 6 of the rally. You were leading this rally going into this stage. We're 5 kilometres in. The car is parked up on the hill there. What's happened?
Just an engine failure, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know, half a kilometer before I lost the cylinder, so I just thought basically a spark plug or something. But then basically I carried on, and then I lost another one, and then obviously, yeah, I realized that it's worse than that. So.
It's quite an unusual problem, isn't it? It's not one that I've heard too often with the Hyundai. It's a surprise to have an engine problem as catastrophic as that.
Yeah, we are coming late into the season, so I guess the mileage is getting high now.
So it's an engine that's done a few rallies.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
But there was no other indication. They didn't say anything to you in service. There was no compression issues or anything like that that maybe made you think, hang on, this engine might not last the course.
No, everything was looking good after Paraguay, to be honest, and yeah, like today we could see as well, it was running nicely and was all good. So no indication, no alarm, no nothing. It was just, yeah, we lost it basically cylinder by cylinder, and that's the case closed.
How frustrating is it for you personally, like, because you've been driving exceptionally well again this year. Again, you've been proving that you could be winning multiple rallies, but you just don't seem to get any luck. How frustrating is it for you?
It's harsh, to be honest. Yeah, we had to fight through every rally this year, and it's never been easy and straightforward. And obviously, our opponents are very strong, so it's not been easy to take the fight with them. But we tried everything we could, and I mean, yeah, of course, it's difficult to explain, to be honest, but just feels empty, to be honest.
I can imagine. And you're not the sort of driver ever to give up, but you're 20 points behind the leader going into this rally. You're going to be more than that behind after this rally. Is that it for the championship? 3 rounds to go? Or can Tänak still win this championship?
I mean, probably mathematically it's still possible after this one, but let's see where we are.
Gee whiz, Al. What can we say? It's been an afternoon full of drama, an afternoon full of emotions. But for Tänak, he isn't going to give up yet, is he? Because there are still 3 rounds to go. But surely it would require one heck of a set of circumstances now for him to go on and take his second title.
Yeah, I'd certainly say that it's no longer in his control. It's now up to, yes, he can absolutely smash the last 3 rounds of the season, but he needs circumstances to conspire against his rival simultaneously. He's going to be starting at best still 4th, maybe 5th. He could drop behind Neuville if he doesn't recover well on the final day. Hopefully he will.
He's not coming back.
I
really don't.
Right. Yeah, if the engine's gone
that yet.
No,
but it sounds as if that engine has absolutely gone.
And then he isn't coming back. Yeah, exactly.
He isn't coming back. Do you know what? At the start of this stage, Tänak headed a Hyundai 123, remarkably heading in, and they were looking as if perhaps they had plenty of cause to be, optimistic heading into the rest of the rally. I think they still do, Al, because at the end of 6 stages today, a rally of 2 halves, I'd have to say. This morning was a very strange morning. We kind of had a little bit more of a predictable afternoon, but that man, Adrian Fourmaux, leads the rally for the first time at the end of Friday. It's a very slender lead, just over a second from, as you mentioned there, Sébastien Ogier. But Fourmaux is in a strong position. He did a great job out there today.
Yeah, pace-wise, very much so. The Hyundais and Fourmaux especially were really top of the pile in the afternoon. Look, when the conditions were much drier, there was a bit more abrasion, and the road sweeping was much more pronounced as a consequence. The question now is Saturday. What happens when Fourmaux loses that road order position advantage, which he had in the afternoon loop? Certainly wasn't the case in the morning, but in the afternoon loop, he did have that advantage again. He used it to his advantage. The key now, it's a little bit like Paraguay, I suppose, and can he keep Ogier behind? Can he keep the titans of the sport behind in this kind of situation? But the good thing is he's got a second bite of the cherry.
It really is a good thing, and this is the next step that Fourmaux has to take. He absolutely has to take. We've seen it many times this year, capitalising on slightly advantageous road position, setting himself up nicely on the Friday, and then not being able to find that ultimate rally winning pace. I think tomorrow we might see something different. Neuville was all over the place this morning. He was lost once again. Was like undrivable. We're experimenting with this car. It sounded impossibly difficult. And then he comes back in the afternoon and he's a second off. How does that happen?
It's quite simple. He got the diff back that he wanted. You know, if you spend your pre-event test tinkering, testing, finding the comfort level, obviously there was the link parts from Paraguay, etc. But he'd found a reasonable feeling during Paraguay, and then suddenly had to switch to a diff that he didn't want, which meant the car didn't drive the way he expected to. He felt uncomfortable. But, you know, switching back to the other diff, which, if I recall correctly, meant a bit more of a locked setting compared to the morning, that just gave him the confidence again.
Yeah, tremendous stuff. Thierry Neuville forced into that situation this morning, got what he wanted this afternoon, and he is a threat, a real threat in this rally. But the biggest threat for me is the man who's just behind. Sébastien Ogier really struggled this morning. This morning, as I mentioned earlier, it was a funny morning. That road cleaning we expected didn't really happen. But Ogier really struggled. He wasn't comfortable in the car the first stage. He shipped time there. He shipped a bit more time in the second, pulled it back in the third, and he absolutely went for it this afternoon. Ogier was my favourite before the start of the event. He's still very much my favourite. He's in a great place.
It's understandable. Yeah, and it's a surprise considering the morning, you know, how uncomfortable he said he was aboard that car. You know, he went in a different direction setup-wise to his teammates. Didn't work, just couldn't find. He just felt uncomfortable to push to the level that he would have needed to keep pace with Elfyn in the morning when he was leading. But in the afternoon, clearly that tinkering has done the job. He's found the feeling he needs again to push on. And now he's in prime. This is just trademark Ogier. He set him up.
I've got to pull you up there, Al. Let's hope that Ogier doesn't listen to this. Sébastien Ogier never tinkers. Goodness me. Sébastien Ogier tinkering. You can explain that.
A subtle change at setup. That's all it is.
Thank you. That's better. That is better than tinkering. I said the ace tinkerer was Henning Solberg. Henning Solberg tinkered with everything all the time. Tinker here, tinker there. Ogier, it's always calculated. It's always precise. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Although I would argue that tinkering is just making small adjustments.
No surprise that Al would argue with me.
Yes, I love to argue, don't I, Cole? It'd be no fun if we didn't.
It would be no fun. Who's the man in fourth place? It is Sami Paire. Paire showed real promise in Paraguay a few weeks ago. He had a great afternoon here, Al. Did everything that was expected of him. Finishes less than 10 seconds off the lead.
No, absolutely. I mean, he seemed a little disappointed halfway through the morning. Sorry, halfway through the day, I should say, that he wasn't able to be closer to the front. Again, wasn't 100% comfortable with the car. I think struggling being further back on the road during that morning when just the road wasn't evolving as you would have hoped. And he's again like Formeau, he's taken advantage of his position on the road, maximised it, found a better feeling. And this could be, you know, if he's just patient with it, podium opportunity potentially exists.
I agree with that entirely. Patience is the word for Paire. Paire shouldn't be pushing anything tomorrow. Tomorrow's an enormously challenging day, as I've already mentioned. Paire has set himself up nicely, I think, for potentially that first podium. There are a few drivers, again, that we can point to as driver of the day. I'm not taking Elfyn Evans out of that equation, because I think Elfyn has had a super day. First on the road, just over 13 seconds off the lead. Elfyn was magnificent this morning. He really was. He struggled this afternoon. It dried out. There were strange lines from the Rally 2 cars. That cleaning we expected this morning hadn't happened. We saw it this afternoon, but he absolutely minimised the loss through the morning and then the afternoon, and he is still there, Elfyn Evans, with a chance in this one.
Yeah, this is the difference from some of the events earlier in the season when he would drop bucket loads of time on that first day, over half a minute, close to a minute on some opening days, and that would put him out of touch basically for the rest of the rally. He's only just over a dozen seconds off the top spot, and he's going to have a normal road position tomorrow, let's say.
We have talked about all our championship contenders. There is one other who's had a difficult day. He's way down the field, Kalle Rovanperä. Do you know what, Al? You can't blame anyone else. It was a mistake he made. It was a right-hander. He was a little bit too quick in. You know, tried to gather it up, back end went wide, smacked the bank, debeated the wheel, he lost time. Rovanperä could have done without that mistake today.
No, absolutely. I mean, out of the title contenders, he was the only one that flinched really. None of the others, some of the others struggled a little bit in certain situations, but they didn't make any mistakes. Rolf and Perez did, and as he explained, he was just too late on the brakes. It wasn't that he was cut out by something, sometimes maybe something is on the line that got dragged out by another car and you have to avoid it. Things like that can happen. This wasn't that. It was just too late on the brakes, overcommitted.
Now, one or two of our other drivers. Takamoto Katsuta, really good afternoon for him. A difficult morning. Oh my goodness me, I feared for him. He was absolutely lost. He was in one of those moods where you almost just want to just go into the stage end, jump in the car and give him a big hug. Put your arms around him because he just sounded devastated. What a response though this afternoon. Yeah, he's 40 odd seconds off the lead Katsuta, but it's exactly the direction he wanted to go. And after a difficult morning, a good afternoon for him. What about our two M Sport cars? Well, Malcolm Wilson must be pulling his hair out because Josh McAleen very nearly kept this run of very early mistakes going from the M Sport drivers. We've seen it too often this year. We saw it obviously in Paraguay a couple of weeks ago with Munster. First stage, Munster was off. A big fifth gear spin for McAleen. He got away with it. He really did get away with it. Knocked the front end off the car, continued on. Difficult day for him. He then had, I think, a puncture in the final stage. Munster looked a bit better, you'd have to say. Munster was showing a little bit of pace. Had an issue with the gear shift. Basically, the linkage broke, didn't it? And he had to change gear right down with a little stubby stick, which made things a touch tricky for him. But not a bad day, I suppose, for Gregoire Munster. And we kicked off this review video with proper drama, proper emotion. For us, that was just part 2 of the afternoon's emotion and drama. Take a look at this video here. Al, it's that side. Take a look, Al, at that video there. 15 minutes of high tension, high anxiety, high drama, high energy, and then devastation. Take a look at that. Johan Rossell working so hard to keep his championship challenge alive. You'll see from the video, did everything he could. It was all in vain. Not only problems for Rossell out there this afternoon, Al, there was a problem for Greensmith, and once again, Oliver Solberg has been magnificent.
Absolutely stellar. On the first stage of the rally, he has a spin, over-rotates, and basically he was complaining that the rear of the car was just loose all the time. And the way he bounced back from that, to be 2 stages later, okay, he said that road position might have helped him a little bit on that third stage with the evolution. But at the end of the day, he was nearly 10 seconds faster than the entire field. 2 stages after he spun off and took the lead straight back. That was a statement that I am winning this championship and no one's going to stop me.
Yeah.
Not even these boys.
Look, these boys are coming to rescue his car. Such a shame, such a terrible sight to see. It really is. Solberg was magnificent. We can't crown him champion yet because Gryazan is still in the mix. Solberg still has a job to do this weekend, but super stuff once again for Oliver Solberg. You know what? It has been a frantic afternoon for Team DirtFish. And if you want to follow our progress through this afternoon's chases around the countryside of Chile, well, check out Club DirtFish on Patreon, because that is where you will see our behind-the-scenes videos. There'll be an awful lot more analysis there of what we have seen today, maybe, and in fact, I'm certain you'll find out more about that engine failure for Tänak's Hyundai. Club DirtFish on Patreon takes you deeper into rallying, deeper into the service part than any other media has taken you. Press the button, take a look, join us there. We'd love to see you. Big day ahead tomorrow, folks. It has been enormous today. As I said earlier, we head over the mountains onto the logging tracks tomorrow. It is one of the most abrasive days in the WRC calendar. Who is going to master tyre wear? For me, that will be the key to winning this one. A huge day ahead tomorrow, folks. We'll see you all then.